Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. I'm going to give you a few minutes to join, and I know I need to plug up my things while I am sitting here. I'm going to give you a few minutes to hop on. We're not going to be on here long. This morning has just been a full morning. I have just been in the Word, and I mean, just eye-opening revelations this morning. I am just so grateful unto God, and I mean, can I say my God. God is so good, and He is so worthy to be praised, and I truly give Him the honor and the glory. I thank Him for the doors. I thank Him for the opportunities that He's given. I am so grateful for the season that I'm in. I'm grateful for the season that we're in, because I know with all that is going on now, good morning, woman of God, thank you so much for joining. With all that is going on now, a lot of people are looking at it as a crisis, but there is a season that we are in. I'm talking about the current season that we are in. So I pray that you are having an amazing start to your day. This thing keep telling me my connection. Stay right here. Let me see if my Wi-Fi is on. Let me turn my. This is not a season of crisis. This is a season of opportunity. And if we, good morning, Dorcina, thank you so much for joining. If we were to just pay attention to what God is doing, we will be, God, why is this thing is toward this to me this morning? If we will pay attention to what God is doing and get our focus off of what is happening, that we will be better off. The world need what we have. We was created for this. There was a certain thing that we all, good morning, missionary Spencer, thank you so much for joining. There was a certain thing that we all was created for. So despite what the economy say, despite what the government say, despite what the news say, despite what the news feed says, despite what we have on our timeline, what we were born with is still needed. What we are born with, it is still necessary. And when you think about even in a crisis, there are certain people that will always be needed. Even in a crisis, we still got to eat. We still need water. We still need clothing. We still need protection. There are so many areas in our lives that still have to function just by us being a human. Good morning, Lenora. Thank you so much for joining. There are some things that are never going to stop. It doesn't matter what goes on. It doesn't matter how bad it gets, and it doesn't matter how bad it looks. There are some things that are going to have to keep going. There are some things that are going to have to keep moving. There are some things that are going to have to keep progressing. There are some things that are going to have to keep taking place. And so we don't want to look at this season, and I say it from like day one. I think like the first day when we was at home a couple of weeks ago. Good morning. I think from a couple of weeks ago. Good morning, Willie. Thank you so much for joining. I asked the question, are you being creative? This is a season of creativity. This is not no season for us to be waiting on no job. This is not a season for us to be waiting on the government. This is not the season for us to sit back waiting on no stimulus check or nothing like that. We have the opportunity. We had the opportunity even before COVID-19 to create our own environment. We have the opportunity to create our own economy. That's why, jobs are jobs. What we was born with, they can't fire us. They cannot fire us from our gifts. They can fire us from our jobs. They cannot lay us off from our gift. They can lay us off from our job. We have greatness that lies inside of each of us. Each of us. I challenge you in this season. I challenge you in this season that if they were to shut down wherever you're working today, if they was to shut down where you was working tomorrow, what would you do? Ask yourself, what is it that I can do outside of what I am doing? So many people, they tie themselves to the flag of their job. You got to take your gift home with you every day. I used to tell them as production manager, you know, a lot of people, they were great operators, but I used to think that, you know, these machines, we don't have these at home. And these machines, if you don't go and work for another core coding company, you will never probably see another one of these machines again. So I don't need to be a great operator. Good morning, Sheila. Thank you so much for joining. I need to learn skills that are transferable. I need to learn things that I can take out the door with me every day, that I don't have to worry about if I don't get back into this building, that it will not be usable. You need to have skills, and I mean, not even skills, because your gifts outweigh your skills. Skills are learned. Gifts are given. They were born to you. The word tells us that every good and perfect gift, it comes from above. Nobody can stop the gift. They can't block the gift. They can't take the gift back. They can take the job back. They can take the job back. They can limit on what they teach you or what they show you. You can be even limited on what you learn with your skills. But your gift, what is in you? What is in you? In this season that we're in, this is not the time for us to be moping and even worried about our jobs. This is the time for us to tap into our gifts. This is the time to tap into our gifts. What can you do like no other? What can you do? See, a lot of us, we're so sophisticated and we're so prideful, and we think that we got to wear cute dresses and we got to have on bows and ties and suits and all these different things. My gifts and my spiritual gifts basically go hand in hand. My skills and my spiritual gifts goes basically hand in hand. I hear you, Dorsina, but and medical fields is always good, but what if they laid you off as a nurse? What would you do? That's where I want you to get it. If you were laid off as a nurse, what would you do? What would you do? Medical fields is generally covered because we're always sick and we always have issues. But if you were laid off as a nurse, it's not a question for you to answer for me, but for you, what would you do? What would you do? Just think about it. Think about it. But in some areas, we would always be in need. There are some things that we can do that we are not even touching. We're not even seeing. When you think about how God, He made the rich and the poor, but the only difference is the perspective. The difference in the rich is the perspective. Poverty is the result of what we see. If we see ourselves poor, we would think poor, we would act poor, we would live poor, and all these different sorts of types of things. Good morning, Fred. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning. May everyone on the broadcast know that you are loved and blessed by the Most High. Thank you and appreciate Him for covering you in their blood in such a time as these, and thank you and grateful for health officials. Amen, Sheila. Amen. Amen. But because this thing can go in many different directions, but hear me, stay on track with me. What are your God-given gifts besides your credentials? What is a gift that you house in you that don't require any credentials? It does not require certification. It does not require a certificate. It does not require a degree. What gifts that you were born with, that you were born to do, without all of that. Without that. Good morning, Alita. Thank you so much for joining. Because somebody need what you have. They need what you have. And, sometimes, when we're in our zone, when we're where we've been, when we're in our comfort zone, we think that, this is it. This right here, this is it. And then later in life, you find that really wasn't it, because there is something else that's been nudging at you. There's something else that's been pulling at you. There is something else that you have in you that is laying dormant. And to give an example, most of the time, a lot of people don't tap into those gifts until they don't have another option, because they become very creative. And that's why I said a couple of weeks ago, are you creating in this season? Are you creating in this season? Are you creating your economy where we're not dependent on what ABC do or XYZ do? What are we doing with what we have that God has already given us, that is not in somebody else's hand, that is not under somebody else's authority, that is not up under somebody else's decision, but what he has given us, that what he gave us, that he would allow us to work, that he would allow us to work. But there are three places of employment in a crisis that will always be employed, and that's the medical field. Medical field, 1. Number 2, counselors. 2. Number 3, the undertakers. People are always going to be sick. People are always going to need help. And people are always going to die. Those 3 areas, people going to need medicine. They're going to need medical care. They're going to, medical attention. Good morning, Toshiba. And people going to need help, mental help. They're going to need counseling, emotional help. And they're going to have to be put away. So medical, counselors, and undertakers, they have a job. They're always in need. But there are other areas. There are other areas while we're not sick. There are other areas when we're not dead. There are other areas when we're not depressed and we're not stressed, that there is a need for what we have. People always got to eat. People need water. People, they need to be covered up, because the law of the land says that you cannot walk around in nude. I know you got some nude beaches or nude places, but not where I live. You need clothes. You go somewhere naked, they're going to think you crazy, and they're going to have you locked up, have you in a psych ward somewhere. But ask yourself, think about it. And don't limit yourself to your job. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm making. Don't just limit yourself in your job. God tell us to, do your job in the daytime, but do your work at night. There's a difference in our job and our work. Our job is what we get paid to do. Our work is what we were created to do. Good morning, D. Thank you so much for joining. So do your job in the daytime or night, whatever time you work. If you work night shift or whatever, do your job on that time. But do your work on the opposite time. There is greatness inside of you. And a lot of us, we live comfortable lives, but we can have even better lives. And we can be so much more of a blessing, not just to ourselves and family, but to other people. But we're stuck on our 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever your shift may be. We're stuck in areas that it's bigger than that. It is bigger than that. It is bigger than what we have learned how to do based on our skills, because our gifts, they come naturally. Our gifts comes from above. It was what we was born to do. Can't nobody stop you from doing it. They can't block you from doing it. They may not like you doing it, and they may try to figure out how you got it and they don't have it. It was the gift that he gave you. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. Can't nobody do your gift like you do, but somebody can do your job. That's why they can cross-train. They can cross-train on your job. Come on now. Do your job and do the work you were called to do. Yes, they can cross-train on your job, but they can't cross-train your gift. Come on now. They can cross-train. Do you know how many people can do your job? if they have the right instructions, if they're guided and taught by the right one, if you have any type of instructions that they can do it, that's why McDonald's can get the high school kid and they can change them out every day, because they got instructions. They have work instructions. They tell you step one, this is how you're going to brown the bun. This is what you're going to put on it. They got pictures and they show you how to do the patties. They tell you how to soak their meat. They tell you how to put it on the grill, how you season it. They tell you how to keep it hot, even though you don't know how to get that. But anyway, they tell you how to put, you put a dab of ketchup, you put a little mustard, you put 2 pickles, put it, they tell you how to wrap it. They can give you those instructions. They can train people to do your job. That's why when you out, the job still go on. Oh, come on now, somebody. But can't nobody do your gift when you are not available. When your gift, when can't nobody do it, when can't nobody else do your gift, when you are not available, your gift is not being done. But your job, people can take your place on your job. That's why the company will let you go in a heartbeat. That's why a company, good morning, Jackie, thank you so much for joining. That's why a company, yes, Lord, I am enjoying this message. Thank you, Sister Regina. That's why a company can replace you. Cross-training on a job happen every day because you're replaceable. And that's why they hired a kid out of high school and you've been with the company for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Because guess what? A child or a kid fresh out of high school that was making no money, $10 look real good to them. $10 look real good to them. Good morning, Lane. Thank you so much for joining. You've been on the job for 30 years. You don't have any new skills. You say you went to school when you went to school. You're not going back to school. You used to doing how you used to doing it, and now you don't want to change. You want to keep on doing stuff manual. Now we on digital and touch screen, and so now they're tired of. They're not gonna keep on paying you 30 when they can pay somebody to 10 to do the same job, and they'll get you to train them. Come on now, somebody. We got to get to a point that we're looking past what we have been trained to do and look at what we was born to do. See this right here, what I'm doing. This right here is my work. What I'm doing right now is my work. My work used to get me in trouble when I was in the 3rd grade. My work used to get me whoopings when I was a child because they said you talk too much and you talk too loud. Oh, they used to give you grades in conduct. Oh, come on now, somebody. You used to get U's and S's in conduct. They don't give conduct grades now. They just suspend the child. They don't call your parents like they used to. But you got to look at, people can take your place on your job every day, but they cannot. Can't nobody come to you like Coach O. You may have some other coach talking to you. You may have somebody else that's inspiring you. You may have somebody else motivating you. You may have somebody else empowering you, but I guarantee you, they can't do it the way I do it. They can't do it. They can do it like I do it, but they can't do it. They can do it. They can do at what I do, but they can't do it like I do it. The way I do it is the way I do it. The way they do it is the way they do it. Look at what you are called to do and not trained to do. Not what so let's during this season, study your environment. Look around you and see the need of humanity. There is work out here that can be created. There are jobs that can be created through the work by you looking around at the need. There are problems that need to be solved. People are hurting. People are suffering. People are sick. People are dying. People are going through. And in this season, this is not a season to take advantage of people, but this is a season of opportunity. This ain't no season for us to be sitting back hollering about no pandemic or no crises. This is a season for us to tap into our work. Tap into your work. If you was unemployed in this season, baby, this is the season for you to hire yourself. Y'all not gonna talk to me today. I gotta get ready to get out of here. This is a season for you to hire yourself. This right here is an even playing field where you can look around and study what is needed. You can look around and study what is needed. Your work is needed in this season. Your work is needed. Look how many people has been laid off from their job. Look how many people hours has been cut from their job. Because as they are going on modified hours, as they are closed down for business, they're bringing in 1 or 2 people. You may not be the one that they choose to bring in today. You may not be the one they bring in on day shift. You may not be the one they bring in on third shift. You may not be the one they bring in on the evening shift. You may be the one that they said we're going to lay off for a little while. And then the other one may be somebody that has been there longer than you. There may be somebody that that was more diligent to the work. There was somebody that had more work ethics than you. This time right here is a time where they'll evaluate, okay, are you the one that we need to bring in more, or do we need to lay you off? This is a time, this season right here is a time for jobs to have an excuse to lay people off that they didn't have a real reason to lay off in the first place. Hear me. Good morning, Charlotte. Your work is needed in this season. Thank you for this message. Well needed. A season of opportunity. Yes. Good morning, Charlotte. Listen, this is a time where jobs cannot even have an excuse for laying you off, because they can use COVID-19 like everybody else. Listen. Thank you so much, D. Your job can use COVID-19 to lay you off and not bring you back. Because now, if a job lay you off during COVID-19, they can say we have eliminated that position. This opened up doors for employers too. Because see, when they see that they can do modified work, when they see that they can do work from home, when they see that they can do work different than work has been done in the past, work will never go the same after COVID-19. So don't wait until everything is lifted and think that you're going to go back to work and everything may be normal, because you may not be going back. So think about your work now. Think about your work while you'll get some stimulus money. Think about your work while your unemployment is kicking in. Think about your work while you got time to work on your work. While you got time to work on your work without distractions. You can work on your work without the work emails, because there's no work going on at the job. This is the time for you to tap into your creativity. Oh, I was so blessed this morning as the Lord was speaking, and I was thinking, and I was looking around, and I was just thinking. I said, God is so good. He is so good. So I wanted to share with you all. Don't use this season for pity. Use this season to work your work. Use this season to hone into your work. Use this season to think about your work. Use this season to get better at your work. Good morning, Apostle Cannon. Thank you so much for joining, because your job may not be the same. Your job may never be the same, but your work, oh my God, your work can be your fortune. Your work can be your future. You can go from working a job by the hour to being a multimillionaire in this season. God bring crisis for so many different, there's crisis for so many different reasons. I'm going to do a class on it. I'm telling you, I got so much information. I got so many downloads. It will blow your mind. You looking and thinking, use this season to get better at your work. You looking and thinking that this is a time of sorrow. This is not a time of sorrow. This is a time of unity, because when people go through some stuff, now they act like they got sense. They're not looking down their nose at people. Sometimes people have did good so long that they forgot how it feel like not to have. They forgot what it feel like to be hurting and suffering. So sometimes God will bring things up that's high. They will bring it down low to say, you need to remember where you came from. You need to remember where you was before you got to where you are. And sometimes we'll get so high and we'll get so mighty. We'll get so deep in what we're doing. We get so busy with our 2 jobs and with our 2 blessings, knowing that the blessing came from God. Y'all not going to talk to me today. Work your work. It's time for us to work our work and stop putting so much emphasis on our job. Because see, it lets us know that we don't have no control over our job, because our job can lay us off when something happens in our economy. Our job can lay us off when circumstances and situations are not working in our favor. Our job is unpredictable, because we got a job today and tomorrow we may not have one. So what do we do then? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have in your hands? What do you have in your head? What do you have that you can do? What do you have that can't nobody do it like you do it? What do you have that can't nobody stop you from doing it? What do you have that keep you up at night? Keep you thinking, keep you on your feet, keep you on your toes, keep you going outside of your job? What do you have? I'm excited. Because this is a season of creativity. This is a season of newness. This is a season for you to tap into greatness that is inside of you. You don't have to be broke. You do not have to be broke. You do not have to be broke. It's the perspective. Poverty is the result of what we think. If we think we poor, we act poor, we move poor, we operate poor, because we always talking about, well, we can't afford. Good morning, Gail. Thank you so much for joining. We'll tell ourselves, well, we can't afford. I don't never pull up my house talking about, well, I'm back at the poor house. The devil is a lie. I'm pulling up at the rich house. I don't care what my account look like. I don't pull up at no poor house. Your words are vital. I pull up at the rich house. Baby, I look rich. I dress rich. I feel rich. I tell myself every day I am healthy, I am wealthy, and I am happy. You got to speak it to yourself. As you begin to speak it, you will begin to see it. The only difference in the rich and the poor is how they see things. You see it as a crisis. They see it as an opportunity. You see it as a problem. They see it as an opportunity to solve the problem. We see it as an opportunity to solve the problem. I'm with them. So as you think about it, 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 think about it. As you think about this time, this season, as you think about the place that we're in, don't allow this to be a season of pity. Allow this to be a season of creativity. Allow this to be a season of growth. You got something that you want to do, but you're so busy that you couldn't do it because of your job. Yes, you do look rich, dress rich. Thank you so much, woman of God. You can't do what you want to do because of your job. You say, I don't have time to work on what I really want to work on. You doing your job. Some of us are on jobs that we landed on, and we've been so afraid to get off of them, so we just stayed on them. Some of y'all don't even like your doggone job. Some of y'all, you dread Monday. It's miserable Monday. You TGIF when Friday come. Thank God it's Friday. It's hump day Wednesday. Just one more day. You sit there looking at the clock. You don't like your job. You can kind of deal with your pay, but you don't really love your job. Your work, you'll fall in love with it. You'll do it if you don't even get paid. And see, even with your work, you got to first start off doing it for free. When I first started coaching, I started coaching for free. I was coaching for the free. I was advising people for the free. But this is my work. This is my work. What I do, encouraging, inspiring, motivating, empowering men and women literally around the world. It is my work. This is what I do. You can't work with me and stay the same. I tell people, if you don't have the energy and if you don't have the faith, borrow mine until you get it. You can have some of mine because I got a plenty. I got a plenty of energy. Excuse me. I have a plenty of faith. I will share it. I live off of overflow. This is what I do. I do it without regrets. I do it. I get up every morning wanting to. Loving to, ready to. I get up ready every morning. Ready. I'm telling you, God is so amazing. So in this season, I'm getting ready to go so I can get ready for Sunday school. This is our season. See, a lot of people, and I'm going to say this. Listen, hear me. A lot of people, they rumped and raved, all of us did. And the vision is still the same. When January the 1st came, 2020, we saw all the posts on perfect vision and this gonna be the year for double for our trouble. And baby, when COVID-19 hit, Now you're seeing that this is a year that you'll never forget. This is a year you'll never forget. But when the year came in, people were so fascinated with the 2020 and perfect vision and all the other different things and cliches that we said and all these different other things. And now it done kind of shock your system. Tornadoes tearing up malls and messing up airports and tearing down this and ruining this, and you got COVID-19 and this is killing this person. The world is being shut down, things that we never seen, and now you looking back to January 1st and like, whoa, is this what I saw? There is so much for us to see that we don't even see. There is so much for us to see that we don't even see. So if you don't get anything else out of what I said today, sit down and ask God to show me what I don't see. Show me what I don't see. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I literally sit in my car. I could have been in Dallas, Texas yesterday. I sit in my car 8 hours yesterday. My mama said, girl, you done lost your doggone mind. 8 hours I sit in my car yesterday. I could have been in my bedroom. I could have been in the house. I didn't want to be in the house. I couldn't do my me day like I normally do, but I still had my me time. And I spent time talking to the Lord. I spent time praying. I spent time reading. I spent time investing in myself. I even made a monetary investment in myself on yesterday. A big monetary investment on myself yesterday. But I said, when I looked at it, I said, okay, this monetary investment, I always, when I make an investment, I'll tell you, it was $1,000 investment, but I don't look at the $1,000. I don't look at the investment. I always look at the investment and say, okay, whatever investment I make, I intend to 10x that investment and then some. So for $1,000 investment, I'm looking to bring back $10,000. You got to look at investments as an investment. Investments comes with a ROI, a return on your investment, not a donation, but you got to put in the doggone work too now. A lot of times you think, oh, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to be a part of this and it's just going to happen. No, boo. Faith without works is dead. You got to work in the middle of the crisis. What? Good morning, Sean. Thank you so much for joining. And for somebody, you think, I wouldn't be spending no $1,000 in this season. If you know you putting seed in the ground, you won't be walking afraid. And $1,000 may not be nothing for nobody, but in this season, everybody's scared to release anything. They scared to spend because they don't know where the next going to come from. I'm telling you, this is your season of opportunity. Don't move afraid. You're going to have to you're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to walk by faith and go on over the bridge and watch God work the work that he can work. Watch him work his magic. Watch him. Watch him. Watch him. Watch him. And I said I made $1,000 investment. Actually, I made more than that because I forgot I signed up for something else and got something else I need to sign up once my question get answered. But I sit in my car 8 hours learning and investing in myself. I mean, like literally from 7-something yesterday morning to after 4 o'clock. It was after 4 o'clock when I got out. That's crazy to some people, but it was worth it to me. So look, know that the world need what you have. And what you have, the economy cannot take it. You was born with it. You can lose your job, but you cannot lose your work. God bless you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dream out of your head into your life. It is time for us to work our work. Have a blessed day.